So for much of my life, I feel like I have been living on autopilot or just not making any decisions or having any real thoughts about my life presently, about my life in the future. But I don't know. I just think I never really had the thoughts that I should be having, had, the inclination to make plans for the future or to even really think truly about the future, about what I want. Do I want kids? Do I want a family? How many hours a week do I want to be working, clocked in at some corporation? Um, and when I turned 23, I just started to really think about these things. I started to wonder, you know, I've known for the past few years that I want to have kids. I want to have a family of my own. But I just never thought too much about it. I spoke with a friend who was an investor. He was helping me with some investments, and he was asking, um, when you have kids, do you want to continue working, or what is your plan for that? And, I just thought, how have I not thought about this? I know that I wanted to have kids. I also know that I have really wanted to work my way up at my job. I started out as a clerk. I made my way to an assistant manager, and I'm now a manager of the department that I work in. And from there, I can move past the department to the whole store level to be an assistant manager, then a store manager. And that was sort of the plan. But I also knew that the plan was to have kids, but I never really thought about the fact that these two plans don't really work together, especially because the higher up you are in a company, typically the higher your hours are. Right now, I work 40 hours. The next step, I would be required to work 45 hours a week. And if I became a store manager, it's, 50, 60 hours a week. And I never really thought about the fact that these two goals really do conflict with each other. If I want to have a family, I have realized lately that I want to do it right. I want a family, not just, I have kids and I send them off to the babysitter 8 or 9 hours a day while I go work, and then I come home and, put a TV dinner in the microwave for everyone to eat. I don't want that. I want more than anything right now. I realize lately that what I want and what I feel like I need in order to have a full life is to finally settle down and start a family and focus on the family and the home. And I have been with my boyfriend for 6 years now. Well, it will be 6 years next month. And, I hate to admit it, and I've never really thought about it or allowed myself to think about it, but I think that I have been half invested in my relationship this whole time. And not because I don't care about my partner or anything like that. It is just this whole mindset that has been preached to me my entire life. Something could go wrong. He could cheat on you. Things might not work out. You never know how things are going to be 20 years down the road. You might not have the same things in common. You hear all these things of what could go wrong and that you have to have a plan B. And, I never had, I didn't have a chosen plan B. I didn't have some person or some life that I knew I was going to go to if things didn't work out with my boyfriend. But, I never just fully invested. I always thought I have to have something on the back burner. I have to have a safety net. And, that does sound like the smart thing to do. And of course, I'm not going to go in, with no income at all, no way to support myself without him. I don't want to fully 100% rely on him. But as a woman, I want to be able to rely on him, emotionally, physically as my protector, financially as the provider. I want to be able to rely on him. I trust him. We have a great relationship, a great foundation. And I don't see the problem in wanting to rely on him and trusting that things will work out. Because the alternative to fully committing and fully trusting him is that I spend my life halfway invested in something that is my life. At this point it's been 6 years, like I said, so why not just give into it? Why not just love him 100%? Don't hold back my love. Don't hold back my thoughts, my concerns. Don't hold it back. Just put it all out on the table, and if it doesn't work out, then you'll know. But you can't hold back a little bit just in case something might go wrong. If you're going to love someone, love them fully. If you're going to do something, if you have a dream, do it. Take steps to make it happen and don't hold back. And I think that has been a huge thing that has been happening with me. I've just been holding back in my life, holding back my thoughts about how I might want things to go, holding back in my relationship, and I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to work for a company day in and day out for, I receive nothing but a paycheck. And I know that sounds silly. Of course, a paycheck is a big deal. Money makes the world go round and all of that. But it's counterintuitive to me. What I want is to have a family, to have a husband who cares about me, that I am fully invested in, a relationship that means something to me, not a relationship that has a plan B or a safety net or just in case. I want to be fully invested in my life, in my family, in my relationship. I want to invest. I want to commit. And I feel like I have been told and told and told, don't do it. Don't commit. Don't invest fully in anything. Don't commit to anything because something could possibly go wrong. Well, I would rather commit, make the commitment, go full out. And if something goes wrong, whatever. But I was just thinking the other day, I work all these hours at this business to get a paycheck, and then I take that paycheck and I go buy things that someone else made or someone else created or whatever. And I started thinking, what I really want is more of a simple life, living on a homestead. I have a garden now. I really enjoy gardening. But, why not go full scale with my garden? And everyone has been really discouraging. And what they say is, that's going to be a lot of work. I don't think you realize how much work that's going to be. And I started thinking, I work a lot at my job. And all that I get out of it is a paycheck so that I can go buy these things that someone else made. But if I had a homestead, if I was working for myself and creating my own food, selling the surplus of my food, canning a lot of it, for the winter because the garden's not going to last all year, that sort of takes out the middleman of, the paycheck. Yeah, I'll be putting in a lot of hours, but it will all be for me and for my family. I work 10 hours a day. Let's say I work 10 hours a day in the garden. I would be fine with whatever it is because it's for me. I reap what I sow. When I'm out there working in the garden, I know that I'm going to get those plants. I'm going to get the profit of anything that we sell or, the nutrients from when we eat it. And my family will get that as well. But when I am working for a business, my life project is, if I worked in a grocery store, my life project is those shelves and making sure the shelves are full, making sure the department looks nice, things like that. That is what my life project is, just so I can get the money to go spend on food that someone else made, that I don't know about the ingredients, I don't know about the quality, about the transportation of what the food has been through, how long it's set out. I don't know those things. And I really, my whole life I've been very concerned about health, about nutrients, about my body. And I enjoy eating wholesome foods. And if I can make those foods myself, if I can make money from that, if I can work for me and not for a corporation that doesn't care what happens to me, if I get fired, if I quit, if something happens, I'm easily replaced. No matter how good of an employee I am, there is a way that they can replace me and the company will survive. But in my family, I can't be replaced as a mother, as a caretaker in my home. I can't be replaced in the same way that a corporation can replace me. I'm more valuable in my own home. I'm more valuable to myself, knowing that I get what I give in the work relationship that I would have on the homestead that I'm working toward. And I don't know. I don't know why it seems so complicated to a lot of people to just, if you want to live on a homestead, if you want to have a simple life and get away from the rat race of it all, if you want to start a family and you're a woman and your husband or your partner is on board with doing this, with getting a simple life and starting a farm and providing for yourselves and being self-sustaining and not worrying about whether or not the person at the store ordered the product that you need, and you can't get it because it's not on the shelf, you get it yourself. And if there are other things that you need, you make money on your farm selling your produce, and then you can go buy the things that maybe you can't make yourself. But I want to be as self-sustaining as possible. I want a homestead. I want a simple life. I want children. I don't want to work for a business that doesn't mean anything to me, and I don't mean anything to them. I just don't want that relationship with corporations anymore. I don't want to support it. I don't want to be a part of it. I want to be self-sustaining. I want to have a homestead. I want to have children and a simple life. And I feel like I was never taught that. I was never taught that that's something that you can go after. It's always, do good in elementary school so that you can do good in junior high, so you can do good in high school, so you can go to college, so you can get a job, so you can work your life away and hope that your paycheck is enough to buy you the things that you could have done for yourself, but it was just, too complicated or whatever. I don't know. I just think that the world wants there to be this middleman. They don't want you to be able to take care of yourself. They want you to rely on them so that they can take care of you, so that you will feed in to all of the corporations and Walmart and Amazon and all of that. I don't know. I just think I'm done with it. I don't necessarily want to be a big part of it anymore. I want to be on my own with my family. And yeah. But right now, while you're young and you're in the prime years for starting a family, if you can afford to do so, if you can find a way to get out of all this and get out on your own and provide for yourself and work for yourself, then do it. And I'm going to start doing it. This is sort of, right now I'm just sort of thinking it all out. I'm making the plan. After this, I'm going to, put pen to paper and write out the steps that I need to take and have a flexible plan, because I know things will go wrong and not everything will go according to plan. But I want to have a plan, and I want to start taking steps to get toward this life that I want to live. I don't want to be stuck like I feel like I am now, living in an apartment and working at a basic job that doesn't fulfill me and doesn't make me happy. So if you are in the same boat and you feel stuck, I encourage you to put pen to paper, make a plan like I'm going to do, and work toward it. Try to make a change. It can be small things, but let me know. And if you guys have any tips on starting a homestead, on starting this journey, if you guys have any other channels that you can recommend me, I'm going to try to be watching on YouTube other people's journeys and see what I can learn. But thank you so much for listening, and have a great day, you guys.